Let's check out 2, 4, 16. Part A, I'm just going to start this problem and then kind of let you take it from there. So intercepts, let's start with the easier one, which is the y-intercept when x is 0. We just go ahead and plug in 0. So negative 0 squared plus 6 times 0 minus 5 equals negative 5. So my y-intercept would be 0, negative 5. I think that one's pretty straightforward. I think if we're struggling, it's probably with those x-intercepts when y equals 0. So negative x squared plus 6x minus 5 equals 0. And it's a little tricky to factor. I don't really like the negative out front. The negative out front is helpful, as in it tells me the graph opens down, but otherwise it's confusing me. So I'm going to go ahead and factor it out. So x squared, and then instead of plus 6x, it'll be minus 6x, and then plus 5 to factor out that negative sign. And then it'll be a lot easier to factor. So let's see, we need a sum of negative 6 and a product of 5. So what would that be? Probably negative 5 and negative 1. Right, those add up to negative 6, but multiply to make 5. So that means we get x equals 1 and 5. So my two intercepts would be 5, 0, and 1, 0. Right? Y is 0, and these are my x values. So those are my x-intercepts. So factoring out the negative makes it a lot easier to factor. And then I will start part B and then let you all finish it from there. So part B says to write in standard form. And then having standard form will help you find the vertex in part C and graph in part D. So standard form is when we complete the square. And that negative is going to be an issue for that as well. So I'm going to factor that out again. And I'm going to leave room to complete the square. So basically the first 3 terms are going to be that perfect square, and then the last 2 will just be extra stuff. So again, remember the rule was we take that middle term and we divide by 2, negative 3, and then we square it. And we get 9. So we can add 9 as long as we also subtract 9. Cool. So I'm going to keep this together and then distribute the negative to the second half. So keep the 3 perfect square terms together. And then 5 minus 9 becomes minus 5 plus 9. So I'm getting rid of the negative sign there because they're not part of the perfect square. So let's see. We're going to factor this. We get x minus 3 squared. Negative 3 times negative 3 is 9, and it adds up to negative 6. It actually always matches this piece when we divide it by 2. And then plus 4. And again, we want the plus 4 away from the negative sign, so it looks like standard form. So hopefully this helps. I can send more practice on completing the square if anyone needs that, let me know. And then I think this should help everyone with the graphing and finding the vertex.